Hello and welcome to Legends. Let's rethink this right here on Markout Moments. I'm your host, Dave in the RC, along with, oh, look who's here. He did join us.
About time.
It's Stephens. So Timmy C and Stephens are here with me as well.
Come here.
What a stupid mustache.
Shut up. Both of you, shut up.
He looks
like he has a broom under his nose.
Don't be jelly.
Yeah, he's got one of those big push brooms we use in the warehouse.
Yeah. My desk is spotless. Thank you.
All right. So we had an episode of Drunken Pop this week, and one of our weekly loyal listeners, Matthew Elvis Presley, wanted to talk the 1994 Royal Rumble because we did February of 94 as our show. So I thought, you know what? This is a great way to reintroduce Legends. Let's Rethink This, which we used to have on our Patreon account
way back in the
when
day.
we had the filter-free network. But now everything has been moved to YouTube, so it's right here on Markout Moments. So it's our brand new episode of Legends. Let's Rethink This, and we're going to talk 93, 94 WWF and what are some of the worst years in the organization's history.
This was terrible.
I'm going to kick this off. So obviously everybody knows there's no spoiler alerts because this shit was 26 years ago.
Mm-hmm. 32 years ago.
32 years ago.
Good counting. Good counting.
Who? 30, 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This was our first, and there's been two. So this was our first co-winners. Well, I guess there was one where they accidentally fell out and then they restarted it. But so this is where we had co-winners.
This is the only one
because
they restarted the other one.
Yeah, Bret Hart and Lex Luger both went out of the ring, simultaneously touching the floor. So both men were awarded title matches at WrestleMania. Now, Lex Luger drew the first title match. And then Bret Hart drew the second. Lex Luger was disqualified in his match against Yokozuna by referee Mr. Perfect.
That bastard.
And then Bret Hart would go ahead and win the WWF Championship after losing to Owen Hart in the opening match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're gonna rewind a little bit. Here, to me, this is where I think WWF messed up. Lex Luger should have beaten Yokozuna at SummerSlam.
I mean, he did.
Yokozuna won the title from Hulk Hogan at King of the Ring.
Right.
They then had the Body Slam Challenge thing about a week later.
And the Lex Express.
And Lex Luger was a full-blown heel at King of the Ring. And then all of a sudden, he was made in the USA. He goes to the USS Intrepid, body slams Yokozuna, becomes a full-fledged face, and his new gimmick. Hold on.
Was that July 4th or July 5th on the Intrepid?
I think it was July 4th.
I think so, too.
So they then go full bore. They're pushing Lex Luger at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Lex Luger hits his bionic elbow. Yokozuna gets knocked out, falls out of the ring. He wins by count out. They carry him around and parade him like he's the new champion, but he's not.
Right.
And that's where they messed up. And we've talked about this on episodes of Legends. Let's Rethink This in the past, how WWE was a very, very the complete opposite of the NWA, where the NWA always had a heel champion and a face chasing.
Right.
Vince was the other way around. He always had a face champion against the Monster Heel Factory. So he goes with, Flair gets a short run. Savage wins it. Flair wins it back just to drop it to Bret. Bret has a decent run from October to WrestleMania where he drops it to Yokozuna, who then immediately drops it to Hogan. Apparently, it was supposed to originally be Hogan versus Bret at SummerSlam, and Hogan bowed out of that.
That is the story, the alleged story, yes.
That's Bruce says no, Bret says yes.
I believe Bruce.
But
Bret Hart's a liar.
Well, I think possibly both are true to a degree.
They could be.
I
They
think
both
Vince.
could be.
I think Vince told Brett one thing and told Hulk another.
I mean, and it's wrestling. Plans always change.
That's correct.
So, but if I would have been booking, I think you go with Lex in 93 at SummerSlam. You have the feel good moment, and you see how Lex draws as your champion. So Brett is nowhere near. After WrestleMania, he wins King of the Ring, this thing they make for Brett to appease him. And then at SummerSlam, he's feuding with Doink the Clown and Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
Mainly Jerry Lawler, but Doink the Clown comes in.
Was 93 Isaac Yankem too, or was that 94?
That's 95.
Oh, 94. Shit. Brett did not have a good 2 years there.
So Brett is embroiled in a feud with Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler then gets brought up on some diddling charges and 93 Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden
Kentucky.
they insert Shawn Michaels into the feud, which it worked. It just didn't make any sense because it was done like a week prior.
Well, that and Shawn was suspended at the time also.
Yeah. But so here's what I would have done different. Instead of booking Brett and Owen in a tag match at the Royal Rumble against the Quebecers, where Owen kicked Brett's leg out of his leg.
I just watched that. It's great.
I would have had Owen turn on Brett at Survivor Series. So if you give Luger the rub, Luger is full bore in a feud with Yokozuna. They insert Undertaker into it last minute at Survivor Series. But Luger's straight up feuding. It's the foreign fanatics and the All-Americans. So you can keep that feud. You then have, I mean, I guess he suffered an ankle injury, but the way I would go, not only that, Matthew is here. So you have Luger at Survivor Series, and then that could build up to a feud with Borga at the Royal Rumble.
Who, by the way, misses this and is done.
Yeah.
Well, he hurt his ankle, and then they got rid of him. So
like,
he was supposed to be against Tatanka.
Now that he's hurt, he's also a legit Nazi. We should probably get rid of that guy.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the booking would be, you go with Lex, and then you can still have some sort of feud with Taker and Yoko. But I would have had Owen turn on Brett at Survivor Series.
So let's go back and talk about 93, because really 93 and the 93 was really the first year they really stopped caring isn't the right phrase, but they weren't treating the WWF title with the gravitas they had previously, right? I mean, it is what it is.
It's because you didn't have any superstars that had the gravitas
and that
Hogan or Savage had.
Sure. I mean, and I just talked about this last night on Bashing the Buttons. The 4 months leading up to Royal Rumble 93, and then the month after that, is probably the best rush build-up job the WWF's ever done with Yokozuna. I mean, he went from who the fuck is that guy to the heel in a matter of minutes. And
yeah.
I don't know if they've ever done that again.
Because I mean, he wasn't. I mean, he had his first pay-per-view match at Survivor Series where he squashed Virgil.
Right.
92 Survivor Series. He wins the Royal Rumble, wins the match at Mania. But the biggest problem with Yokozuna is he came in, and within the matter of 2 years, he was so obese.
Right. Well, and he was kind of pigeonholed with the gimmick too, right? I mean, that
right.
Unfortunately, he was the top heel, but he was about as over as he was going to get with that gimmick. Going back to 93, I wouldn't have had Luger win the title at SummerSlam because I never would have turned him. Luger was much better as the narcissist, and I think it had more legs than the All-American Lex Luger. I wouldn't have done the Intrepid thing when they bought his name Yoko. I would have saved that for a title match, not some random appearance. And and I've talked about this before, leading up to Royal Rumble, because it was so chaotic. This is the year they did the random SWS runoff with Tenryu and Kabuki and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker's getting ready to go out to recover for some injuries.
Yeah, Taker's beat up, so he's taking time off. I mean, it's going to end up being 8 months, almost 7 months.
Yeah, he's a while. And what I love about, well, let's start with I don't want to jump ahead. Let's start with the Rumble. So the Brett and Owen, again, I said this last night, Brett and Owen is probably the best storyline in 94. It's tremendous. I just think how it ended with Backlund and Diesel, especially winning the title 13 seconds after Backlund beats Brett, is why no one remembers it, because the ending was terrible.
Bro, they set a casket on fire. How can you say Brett and Owen was the best storyline?
They didn't set the casket on fire.
This not the one where they wheel him back and set him on fire?
No, this is the one he levitated out of it.
Yeah. 98 with Kane set the casket on fire.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yes.
94, the only real storyline in 94 was Brett and Owen. You had Brett and Owen, and then later in the year, you had Brett and Backlund.
But Owen was still a part of it.
Right, but with Owen. But you also had, you had the Diesel, Shawn Michaels, and Razor Ramon.
Right.
Draw. That's pretty much it. There's just nothing else there. Right. And I mean, as the year progressed, you started, and Lex Luger went from, Yokozuna feud to the feud with the $1 Million Corporation.
Right.
But I mean, that's it.
And then the Allied Powers.
Well, the Allied Powers was in 95.
Darren said with a great point. If Bastion Booger had not fallen ill before the 94 Rumble, the entire landscape of pro wrestling would be different. I did love that they were teasing the knee injury to Brett through the entire Rumble. I think he came in at like 26 or something like that.
Yeah, he came in really late.
But there was a guy that didn't 17 didn't come out. And then they say, oh, Bastion Booger got sick in the back. What? Why? But yeah, again, if it were me, Lex would still be a heel here at Rumble 94. Lex is one of those guys, like, he could get away with being a babyface in WCW because the crowd was different and his presentation was different. This USA Lex never worked.
I was okay with it. I was okay with it. But see, it wouldn't have lasted long. So here's where I'm getting to. So, like, I would have had him win the title. But at Survivor Series, so this is where if you take out Tatanka, he's injured, you bring in The Undertaker. During that match at Survivor Series, you can have Undertaker and Yokozuna eliminate each other and kick off their feud to have Undertaker, chillax for a few.
Right.
They could have still had the casket match at the Rumble. But it didn't have to be for a title. I mean, how many casket matches have we seen that weren't for titles?
Well, they had just done a casket match at Survivor Series. Or no, that was 94.
90
year they do it.
At the 92 Survivor Series.
Yeah, was that Kamala?
Kamala. So, but so you can still have that, but you have, instead of the All-Americans winning, the Foreign Fanatics win when Borga beats Luger at the end.
It's so stupid.
But I mean, that's what they were going with Borga. They had a legitimate tough guy there that they were trying to push. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
Then you could have, that feud could have ended at Rumble. So you have Luger versus Borga at Rumble. And you could still do Taker and Yoko in a casket match that writes Taker off TV for, the better part of 6 months.
Right.
And then I would have had Brett and Owen instead of their match at WrestleMania. It would have been at Rumble. And then, you go back and watch, Owen turns heel at Rumble on Brett, kicks Brett, and then enters the Rumble.
Right.
And then is in the Rumble for all of 4 minutes before Diesel throws him out.
Yeah. Diesel has the performance of the night for sure.
I wouldn't even have had, if Owen's not going to represent the Rumble, represent any type of strong run in the Rumble, why was he even in the Rumble?
Yeah, well, especially because you're trying to build Brett and Owen, right? And so Diesel has the performance of the night by far, and the crowd gets behind Diesel. immediately. So, I mean, you leave the Rumble as a fan knowing kind of what the future is going to look like, right?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. You leave the Rumble knowing what the future is going to look like as they push Diesel huge. And then the very next night, he's back to being Shawn Michaels' bodyguard. He wasn't even on the card at WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah, this whole... Well, Shawn was. He was in the Rumble.
Shawn was. But Diesel wasn't on WrestleMania.
Oh, you mean WrestleMania? Okay, I got you. WrestleMania 10. I think 94, not only... Again, they're searching for stars here in 94. But their storytelling is not... It may be the worst it's ever been here in 94. Before or since. Because their storylines are just all over the place. But, you know, as we leave the Rumble and head to WrestleMania, again, Owen and Brett at WrestleMania 10 is maybe, I only say maybe because there's been 42 of them now, but is probably still the best opening match in WrestleMania history, if not one of the three. And I talked about this last night on Bashing the Buttons. I love the fact that this match got 4 3/4 stars or whatever, because Razor and Shawn already had 5. What?
And he couldn't do 5. He couldn't do 2 5-star matches, but AEW will get 6 on one pay-per-view.
I think they have a 7-star match now, don't they?
They do. Omega was, I think it was in Japan. I'm not even saying it as a joke. I think it was an Omega Japan match. So how I would have, so let's just hit the main points of WrestleMania 10. Owen Brett. You got Randy Savage and Crush, which luckily that's the end of that. Yokozuna beats Luger by disqualification after Mr. Perfect turns heel. And then Razor Shawn in the ladder match. Then you got Brett Yoko. Brett wins the title with Roddy Piper as a special guest referee. Again, for my money, Owen Brett's the best story of 94. I actually also don't hate that Backlund was a part of it. Because again, we got crazy Bob Backlund, which does not get its fair share of credit. That was awesome.
Yeah, because as a face, he sucked.
He was terrible.
Yeah,
and because they were doing the George Foreman pitch for Bob Backlund.
Foreman had just won the title.
Stupid.
Yeah.
So I would have had, again, if you're trying to make Owen a heel, which I mean he was, Owen wins the title at SummerSlam in the cage match, and then Brett wins it back at Rumble 95. That's how I would have done it.
It was right. So, and see, RJ, the problem with that is that Undertaker feud was actually supposed to be a legit feud and last. But they realized Brian Lee was horrendous.
Well, that and the angle's stupid.
And I mean, because going back, I was 12 in the summer of 94 when this all went down. I thought that was the Undertaker at first.
I did too.
But they did a great job. Like going back and rewatching it on the network when we could watch it. They did a good job of keeping the camera away from his face, so you could really tell that it wasn't the original Undertaker.
Right.
So when SummerSlam happens and it's Undertaker versus Undertaker, you can be like, okay, he's not the real guy. But you didn't really know until. So, I mean, and back in those days, the internet wasn't as prevalent as it is now. You know, I never even heard of Dave Meltzer or any of his crap. So,
correct.
And I hate wrestling dirt sheets anyway. I think they're all scum. So who gives away? You don't be like, oh my God, dude. Iron Man dies in fucking the Marvel movie as soon as it's over, or like, oh, the rumor is Iron Man dies in Arm. Like, who wants to know that? Why are people so obsessed with wrestling? Like,
spoilers.
I need to know the spoiler of what's going to happen. Why? You watch the show to see it. Like, I do not want to go into any. I was pissed. I remember when Star Wars came back out, when they had the new Star Wars, and Kylo Ren killed Han Solo. One of my brother's friends be like, man, that movie's stupid. Kylo Ren killed Han Solo. Like literally 2 days. And I'm like, dude, I haven't even seen the movie yet. So when I went and saw the movie, I already knew. And my brother, love him to death. He is the worst. He'll go watch a movie and want to tell you all about it. And I'm like, dude, hey, I would like to go see the movie. I don't need you fucking telling me how the movie goes.
That sounds like a you problem. You need to go see the movies earlier.
You know what's crazy is I just looked up the card from SummerSlam 94 and I added up all the times in my head. There's an hour and 10 minutes worth of match on this card.
Well, hell, Brett and Owen went 30.
32. But Razor and Diesel went 15. But other than that, the longest match was 9 minutes.
But yeah, Greg Valentine was in Rumble 94. He comes running out. What? You had Great Kabuki.
Which I think was Valentine's last appearance.
Yeah. I mean, he did wrestle in WCW some
Right.
in the Nitro era once Thunder came about.
Remember, he had a random world title match against the Giant when Nitro first started.
But it was, I mean, but going back, so the way I would have booked it, I like the Lex Luger thing. It was weird. I would have probably turned him face a little earlier, or maybe even brought him in as under that American gimmick. But see, like the way I would have done it is Luger wins the title at SummerSlam 93. Yoko and Taker kick off their feud at Survivor Series. Borga beats Luger at Survivor Series.
You still have Borga beat Luger.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then, but that gives you a feud for Luger for Rumble. So at Rumble, you have Brett and Owen. You have the Steiners and the Quebecers who are in a feud that just ended out of nowhere. So you have Brett and Owen.
I believe the Steiners leave not too much longer after this.
Yeah. So I mean,
they're not even in WrestleMania.
Right. So you can blow off that feud. Then you have Luger, Borga, Brett, Owen, Taker, and Yoko, and then your Rumble match. And this is where Brett wins the Rumble. And WrestleMania 10, you're looking at Brett and Lex. Because I think Brett could carry Lex to a good match at WrestleMania. And then after Brett beats Lex Luger at WrestleMania, Luger can turn on Brett. And then you get the narcissist gimmick. And it can run.
To answer Darren's question, no, they didn't get a run. They both had matches at WrestleMania for the title.
Yeah. So, and then after this, Luger is out of the picture.
Yeah, so after WrestleMania 10, Luger was no longer in a title picture at all. He went on to he literally started the feud with the $1 Million Corporation when Ted DiBiase says he's got Lex Luger and Tatanka saying he sold out.
Right.
But it was really Tatanka.
In retrospect, because I noticed that SummerSlam 94 match that's on there, Tatanka and Luger. And I remembered that storyline. In retrospect, that Tatanka turning heel and selling out to the corporation, again, probably one of the better stories they did in 94. Actually, I thought they handled that pretty well. But the problem was no one ever took the corporation seriously. Ever.
Well, then they never won anything. That was the problem.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Until Sid got there.
And even when Sid got there, they didn't win anything.
Well,
see, I mean, you could have had your corporation, like once Luger turned, he could have joined the corporation, and the corporation could have been built around Luger.
Right.
And you can still have a Luger feud with Brett, an Owen feud with Brett, because like I would have had Owen beat Brett at Royal Rumble. And then they're both in the match. But Brett eliminate Owen last.
See that? Yeah.
That way Owen gets built up as okay. Because, I mean, if you really think about it, Owen Hart was a mid-card job to the stars until he turned heel.
He was in the New Hart Foundation.
Exactly. The new foundation.
Yeah. And then what was his tag team with Coco Beware with the
High Energy.
High Energy. That.
But, and RJ asks, would you guys like to see Jeff Jarrett inserted into a feud? You could have by the end of 94, Jarrett was starting to build up. That's when he inserts into the Intercontinental title feud.
Well, here's the thing with Jarrett in 94. I don't mean this to be mean. Nobody gave a shit about Jeff Jarrett in 94.
No.
Nobody. And I mean, he would get there, but 94, nobody cared about Jeff Jarrett.
No, they didn't. But, and I mean, and like Darren says, it just seems like a co-win would set up some kind of run. Otherwise, it makes no sense. My 2 cents.
It doesn't make any sense.
I would have, if you're going with that direction, why did they not face off and the winner gets Yokozuna at WrestleMania?
You know, it is funny thinking about Luger's 94. it almost mirrors Hogan, and let me explain. So Hogan, I was talking about this last night in '92, where the crowd at Rumble '92 had made Sid the guy.
Yeah.
But instead of turning Hogan, they turned Sid. And to me, that it was a middle finger to the crowd, and also I think that's part of the reason why '92 as a whole is terrible. Is like that Hogan stuck around as the face, Sid wouldn't heal. The crowd never really recovered for a while. And to me,
Sid got pissed and left right after WrestleMania.
That's true.
So.
And to hear they're doing the same thing with Luger. They're so dead set on making him the All-American guy, and making him the new Hogan, when Luger is a better heel 10 times over than he is as a babyface, especially in a world driven by characters. Lex Luger as himself, fine, but I don't mind Luger being the centerpiece of the corporation. Again, I think it still could have been Sid. Now, granted, Sid wasn't until '95, but yeah, I don't. If it wasn't for Tatanka Luger's '94 might as well not even happened.
Right. I mean, because it was just the corporation went over at Survivor Series '94,
right,
and did nothing of note any other time.
And I mean, it was solid. I don't hate the storyline with Nikolai Volkov, bringing him back at 45 or whatever he was.
I liked it.
48. What are you talking
about? With the scent sign on his britches.
Yeah, that was tremendous. And then you turn to Tonka, like it. They end up turning 1, 2, 3 Kid. You turned. King Kong Bundy never should have been in that. I don't know why that was.
He never should have been brought back.
I don't know why that happened. But the corporation, was kind of loaded for the time. And then you add Sid, but yeah, I don't. It is so hard for me to understand why they went from Luger Yokozuna, and I understand you have to change things up. I get that, but to go from Luger Yokozuna in the title picture to just feuding with the corporation, specifically Tatanka, there she is.
Hey, girl.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
What?
I get to go to work tonight.
Yeah, TJ's working midnights.
Oh.
Valentine's Day is for suckers.
I'm going to tell Sarah you said that.
She knows. I've told her.
She knows.
Love you.
Love you.
I hate Valentine's Day.
So, it's just obviously what they went with didn't work. 94 was terrible. 95, not much better. But since we're talking 94, so I go, like I said, you tag team. You have the Steiner brothers, and you can't keep them happy with. But obviously, there's absolutely no tag teams of note in the WWF at the time.
Well, that's the sad part. Is they're coming.
You have the Quebecers, the Steiners, the Head Shrinkers,
The Hearts.
No, the Smoking Guns, and Men on a Mission.
Mm-hmm.
Which they're trying to split up here too, because they're getting ready to bust Mabel off.
No, that's the next year.
Again, it's sad that because the tag teams are coming. They'll start showing up in '95 and '96. But yeah, again, like
throw that shit away, buy a new pan.
I don't know what that means, but let's
either.
Just looking at SummerSlam '94, your one tag match is Bigelow and IRS against the Head Shrinkers.
Right, and the Head Shrinkers lost the titles the night before to Diesel and Shawn.
Right, and you had, you had Diesel and Shawn, you had the Quebecers, or were they gone by here?
They were gone.
Yeah, okay.
By SummerSlam.
So the Heavenly Bodies were in and out. You had, I think the Beverleys were gone here by SummerSlam '94, but you would get, the Smoking Guns kind of came back or made a resurgence late '94 going into '95. So like the tag teams are coming, they're just not here yet.
Or the Godwins are getting ready to debut, aren't they?
No, Henry debuted.
Henry debuts in late '95,
and then Phineas came in '96.
Yeah, and actually, people shit on dude. I think the Steiners and the Godwins would have fucking smashed. Like those four would have beat the hell out of each other.
The Godwins as heels,
right?
Yeah, the face Godwins sucked.
Yeah.
Where is Legion of Doom at this point? Are they
So this
back in
is the-
WCW?
No, this is the weird time. Hawk is in Japan,
Yeah,
and Animal
is injured.
is injured. Yeah,
Hawk is a part of a team called the Hellraisers with Kensuke Sasaki in Japan.
yeah. Or in the States, they're called the Power Warriors.
Yeah. So, but this is where Animal was injured and collected his
On
Lloyd's
his
of
Lloyd's of
London.
London.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just, I mean, it's there. I'm a fan of tag team wrestling. I think WWE has done tag team wrestling a huge disservice over the years. They had a resurgence in the 2000s with the Hardys and the Dudleys and Edge and Christian,
Right.
and that helped. The New Age Outlaws, things of that nature. It came back, but I really thought once Triple H took over, because tag team wrestling was so hot in NXT during his time there, I thought, okay, we've got something. Does NXT even have tag titles anymore?
The women's tag team division is pretty good.
I think so.
The women, there is no women's NXT tag team champion. Let's see, NXT tag team championship. Right now, I don't think there is one. Mustache Mountain. Who the hell's that?
I don't think that's a women's tag team.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, so Mustache Mountain were the last NXT tag team champions. Nope. Dark State. Dark State is your NXT tag team champions.
Sure.
I don't even know who that is.
By the way,
They beat the Hardy Boys.
I'm looking at the card for SummerSlam 95. Woo, you think 94 is bad? 95. Oh,
Yeah, but I mean, 95 can easily be the next thing we go over. But I mean, 94 is just so. The card at Royal Rumble. So this is what we got in a dark match. The Brooklyn Brawler defeated Jim Powers
As a barn burner.
Yeah. So match 1, Tatanka beat Bam Bam Bigelow.
But
Bam Bam
it was
Bigelow.
supposed to be Borga.
It was supposed to be Borga. Bam Bam Bigelow returned in late 93.
I dare call that an upgrade.
It's definitely an upgrade.
Then you have the Quebecers beat Brett and Owen. You have Razor beat Erwin R. Shyster in the dumbest match ever. So I don't know if you guys remember this. Erwin R. Shyster, he repossessed Razor Ramon's gold chains.
Yeah.
So that ignited their feud.
He should have paid it off.
IRS beats
him.
Razor at the Rumble to win the Intercontinental title. In nefarious ways, as Timmy would say. Another referee comes out to tell the referee, like, no, you can't do that. He cheated. And at that time, IRS is up on the second rope celebrating. Razor Ramon grabs him, hits him with the Razor's Edge, pins him 1, 2, 3.
It's stupid. It's a terrible.
How many times have we seen people lose their titles
And just get away with it.
and it just be it was the same thing you had with NWA. So Ric Flair always won the title in some nefarious way and got to keep it. But anytime a face won the belt, it was always reversed. It made no sense.
Well,
so
again, if that's gonna be if that's what you want to do, and I understand they're trying not to, right? They're trying to build up IRS a little bit, but ring the bell and restart the match. Like, I don't understand how Razor just walking up to him after the bell's already rung and hitting his finish and beating him is legal.
it made no sense.
It was a great maneuver.
Razor should have won it straight up, fair and square. So then you have Yokozuna and Undertaker in the casket match, and then your Rumble match.
And the ending of that was terrible.
That's the most overbooked piece of shit match ever.
What, the casket?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was 11.
So
people.
I watched
the entire locker room out there fighting Undertaker.
Well, not only that, but so I saw, and it reminded me of the same thing, kind of. Hogan and Giant wrestled at Super Brawl 6 in a cage match.
Mm-hmm.
And Hogan escaped the cage and then was attacked by the Dungeon of Doom.
Mm-mm.
And then Hogan grabs a chair and literally beats 8 members of the Dungeon of Doom with little chair shots.
Yeah.
And holds them at bay. You're talking the Giant, Earthquake, the Barbarian, Haku,
I think
Kevin
Kamala was
Sullivan.
still there.
Who?
I think Kamala was still there.
And Kamala wasn't there, but
the Zodiac,
the other big guy, one-man gang. And then you have Loch Ness Monster trying to come out, but they hold him back. And apparently the reason why they hold him back and didn't get him in the ring is because he couldn't fit through the cage door.
That's awesome. That's my favorite thing.
Now you talk about overbooked crap.
Dude, nothing tickles me more than working this angle out. I'm like, dude, this is going to be the shit. And they bring the cage down and they go,
he won't fit.
Shit. So we're going to hold you in the aisleway. You can't get you in there.
But I mean, it's just, there was so much wrong. But as kids, like I said, I'm 12. Dude, I'm eating this shit up.
Oh, yeah.
I loved 94, 95. Undertaker versus Undertaker, sign me up.
Yeah,
that was epic. But Timmy, you were also like 16.
I was graduating high school this year. So,
right.
Well, Tatanka turning heel, that like consumed my summer.
I loved Tatanka.
I did too.
That hurt me to my soul. I just knew Lex sold out. I couldn't believe it.
Again, I think it would have gone better had he.
Well, see, I think Luger should have lost the title to Brett at WrestleMania. So you give Luger that run. You give him August to March to run. And if business isn't booming and you're going to go another direction, which it wasn't, but I mean, maybe
to be fair, it didn't matter who was holding that title.
Right.
Business
at the time. Right. So, but okay, so you make the switch. And then, but still, like, to me, like, I think Backlund got screwed. Why not let Backlund just hold it to Rumble and then lose to Diesel at Rumble?
Yeah. The whole Diesel thing, losing the title in 13 seconds at a house show a week later.
Next year, RJ, 95.
Yeah. So I think that alone is why Brett Nolan is not remembered more fondly as a storyline, is because Backlund beats Brett for the title. A week later, Diesel's the champion.
Right.
So like no one, and essentially that's the
not even a week later. It was like Thursday night.
Yeah.
It was Thanksgiving night or whatever,
Raw.
And then on Sunday, Diesel won it.
Yeah. So it's like, and that's pretty much the end of Brett Nolan.
Well, Owen attacked Brett at Rumble 95. He kept attacking.
Yeah, he would sneak in like here and there,
but
essentially when Brett had nothing to do.
Yeah.
But actually an underrated tag team to talk about is Brett and Yoko. Oh, I'm sorry, Owen and Yoko. They beat the Smoking Guns for the tag titles. I think it was 11 or 12. Yoko came
11.
And it's just sad to see how fast Yoko got built up and how fast he slid back down.
Yeah. But I mean, by the time he came back, he was giant.
Oh, he was huge.
So, and apparently Brett was pissed because Yoko was winded about 5 minutes into their match at Mania 9.
I mean, you can't, to Yoko's credit, you can't tell.
Yeah.
But I did notice in the Luger match here at WrestleMania 10, there's a lot of nerve holds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and all he's doing is just sitting there with his hand like this on Luger's shoulder.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about how bad this Rumble was. We talked about Greg Valentine. Guess how long he was in the Rumble?
I'll go 20 minutes he was in there.
Over 20 minutes. 20 minutes and 39 seconds.
The year before, they said he was in there for
50
minutes. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Mo of Men on a Mission was in there for 22 minutes and 46 seconds.
Too long.
Terrible.
Because Mo came in right when they eliminated Diesel or just before?
Doesn't say.
Came right after because Michaels came in and Diesel got eliminated right as Michaels came in.
Which, again, they're teasing the Diesel and Shawn breakup, and then they don't do it until later in the year.
But you have these workers. Randy Savage was in for 4 minutes. Jeff Jarrett, 1:19. Bob Backlund, 41 seconds.
Yeah, so you had Scott Steiner start, Samu come in, Rick Steiner come in third. But I mean, the Steiners could have eliminated everybody that came in until Diesel came in.
Yeah, and then Kabuki.
But I mean, you had Owen Hart, who fresh off his heel turn, 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, I don't get that. Why are you gonna have Greg Valentine go 21 minutes and Owen's gonna go 4?
Good news, Virgil only went 32 seconds. So
That was the last of Virgil as well.
No one's sad about that.
He'd become Vincent after that.
No, that wasn't until 96.
Well, that was the next time he worked. He took 2 years off
Good for him.
to work on character.
Did a terrible job.
Oh,
He was
terrible.
lazy. Sorry.
Yeah, the beginning of 94 is not the best of times in the WWF.
You know how I feel bad for? Bam Bam Bigelow was in the Rumble the longest after wrestling a match to start the night.
And here's I think what's the sad part is it's kind of mind numbing to think how big WWE is now. You think about this year 94. WWF clearly in 94 does not know where they're going. They don't know what the destination is.
You could tell they were lost without Hogan.
Yeah, they didn't. And listen, that's their fault, by the way, because they had Hogan for 9 years. They built up no one to replace him.
Yeah,
and this is what they're left with. But they
did. They built the Ultimate Warrior. He was just a shitbag.
Well, yeah, and again, I said this last night on Bashing the Buttons. Randy Savage should have retained at 5, but we'll say that for another day. But
negative.
No,
You're wrong.
you're wrong.
You were so wrong.
You are wrong. But 94.
Honky Tonk Man should have won it.
94. It's clear they just don't. They have no idea where the destination is, and they don't know how to get there.
The best thing that happened to WWF was WCW starting Nitro.
It made them get better because they sucked until Nitro came.
Yeah.
Well, and inadvertently, WCW actually helped WWF trim the fat off the roster. So they had to build somebody.
You mean getting rid of One Man Gang and Honky Tonk Man and
One Man Gang hadn't been in the WWF since like 91.
Huh?
Yeah, he was gone early because he got tired of the travel.
Yeah. One Man Gang is doing like Memphis when he gets.
But I mean, it helped. Obviously, we thought, damn, losing Diesel and Razor Ramon is horrible.
And it was at first.
But it gave us Triple H, The Rock, Steve Austin, Kane. I mean, you go back and watch Isaac Yankem. You think that guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame?
Nope.
Insane.
He's in the Dental Hall of Fame.
And then he was fake Diesel.
Fake Diesel. So he goes from Isaac Yankem to fake Diesel, and then becomes a bona fide Hall of Famer in Kane.
Yeah.
Well, the Unabomber was a good one he had.
No, it's just
and
Unabomber.
Smoky Mountain. Unabomber.
Smoky Mountain.
And also I don't know if you guys saw this conversation like 2 weeks ago on Twitter. Why are people pretending now that Triple H was not a big deal in the Attitude Era?
Because they're stupid.
Okay.
DX was so over. When Shawn left in 98 and Triple H took over DX, you want to talk about Luger wasn't or Triple H wasn't over? Go watch SummerSlam 98, the ladder match between Triple H and The Rock.
It's the match of the year.
Dude was on fire.
Watch the ovation when he comes back from his injury. When he comes back from the quad injury.
In 2001. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like, we don't like his booking, so now his whole career was worthless. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. That's just pure stupidity.
Adam Bomb should be in the Hall of Fame. What?
All right, so Timmy, what would you have done? You got SummerSlam 93 to WrestleMania 94.
Well, I hate Bret Hart.
What would you have done different? I hate Bret Hart too. So
yeah, I wouldn't have let him win.
You got to put feelings aside and look at business. And right now, the only thing you got going for you is Bret's International. That's it.
Sean's starting to catch fire too.
Not really.
I would have been okay with Sean.
95, I'm with you.
He wasn't ready to win it, but I mean,
95, I'm with you. for sure.
Diesel,
94, I don't know.
Razor, one of those guys.
Diesel wasn't ready.
See, I think you could have. There is a scenario in '94 you could have put a belt on Razor. I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah.
I think that's a possibility.
I mean, they tried to put the Rocket on Mabel at one point. What are we doing?
95.
We're gonna
And then
get there
broke-
one day.
And then he broke Undertaker's face.
And that was it.
Mm-hmm. Well, until he was Viscera.
Yeah, well, Viscera was never over.
No.
Or never pushed. So
I mean, I guess if he wasn't going home, it would have had to have been the Undertaker. But yeah, Bret Hart, Lex Luger, neither one drawing. Because everyone can tell they're both assholes outside the ring. Well, here, Luger's not anymore, but
Right.
Bret Hart certainly got one.
yeah, Luger was a complete dick in these days, according
He was.
to
Everyone.
you know,
I mean, he did kill Miss Elizabeth a few years later.
yeah,
Darren says Bash and Booger.
allegedly.
Bash and Booger, maybe. Yeah. I can see it. Rick Martel, have him win it.
Martel
He was getting old. He was getting
He
old.
Yeah, he was like 38 here, but Martel is probably the most underutilized guy in WWF history. They could have done so much more with Martel, and they just didn't.
Yeah, Martel and Perfect could have been heel champions.
Oh, for sure.
And DiBiase. I think our next episode needs to be revisit 88.
I might have
from the main event to WrestleMania. How would you have booked it?
I might have an idea for like a companion piece to start doing with these shows. It was something we were gonna do, and I think we did it once and then never did it again. Because we sit here and we talk about like, I would have booked it this way, I would have booked it that way. Well, I mean, you can prove it.
Martel underrated, Darren Staley, by the way.
Absolutely. Underrated.
But people don't remember. Like we've watched episodes of like Old School in 1980 where Martel's showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but you can't even put Rick Martel and Kurt Hennig in the best guys that never won the world title because they both did in the AWA.
Yeah.
And the AWA,
That's not a real title.
well, it was until like 87. And they were both champions way before that. Well, I shouldn't say way.
No,
Kurt
not
was champion in
not
86.
perfect.
Yeah, it was like 86. But yeah, I probably, I mean, if Brett is not my champion going through 94, he's around it. I mean, Yoko's got to be there just because I have no one else. You can't, again, Shawn 95, I'm with you. 94, I don't think he's there yet. Razor, again, Timmy, I think you're on to something. I think Razor gets a title win here somewhere in 94.
Yeah, Razor should have won the title at some point.
Yeah.
I always thought his although he was a 5-time Intercontinental Champion, Razor was never booked strong.
Well, I kind of like the way they were in and out with Luger here. I think Razor had, substance issues that they weren't going to put the championship on him because he may not be able to do it.
Well, his demons didn't really come out in full force until
Until he was in WCW.
Yeah. Like the whole drug test thing when he left in 96 was, he didn't want to do the feud with Goldust, and all of a sudden he failed a drug test and he's not going to get a WrestleMania payoff.
Well, I'll throw you one here, TJ. He comes back in 93, and they could have built him up as a monster heel.
Not arguing.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
I thought, yeah. Well, again, Bam Bam didn't get along with the Clique. Nash has said so.
Yeah. Bam Bam said so. He hated them.
Well, I mean, there's one thing if one guy like Shane Douglas, right? If one guy like, oh, that whole group of powerful people hated me, that's why I never got over. And then there's a difference when Nash is like, yeah, we hated that dude.
Yeah.
Because they said, in Nash's problems, he said Bam Bam outside the ring was uncontrollable.
That checks out.
Now, Shane, they probably didn't like Shane Douglas because Shane could mouth off better than them.
Yeah. Well, Shane was good. Shane Douglas was a good promo when he could drop the fuck bomb.
Yeah.
And ECW and all that.
See, I go back and I watch
Shane Douglas got straddled with that stupid Dean Douglas gimmick in '95, and
I like Dean Douglas,
but I wasn't going anywhere as Dean Douglas. He should have been Shane Douglas. He could have had the franchise gimmick in WWF, and it would have been fine.
See, I like Dean. I think the problem with Dean Douglas is he was getting booked to job guys. He never went anywhere.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess the other option for a strong heel would have been Bam Bam.
Yeah, I mean, they never should have turned him face. That's for sure. He's a terrible baby face. But I mean, you look at this roster, right? You look at '94, see who's on it. Bam Bam is there.
So you have, let's see.
Bless them. They tried like hell with Crush. They tried.
You got Owen, Diesel, Savage, Jarrett later,
Sean later,
Crush, Bam Bam, Sean, Tatanka, Luger,
Greg Valentine,
Hart, Greg Valentine. Get out of here.
Hammer should have gotten a push here in '94.
should have put him in a dog collar match with Adam Bomb.
I always thought Adam Bomb character could have gone somewhere.
Adam Bomb, the guy, but that gimmick was horrible.
Dude, Brian Clark as Wrath in WCW was the shit.
Yeah.
He was so good as Wrath. And then Nash beat him on the way to Goldberg and ended his undefeated streak.
So they had something with Adam Bomb there. But I mean, the stars were there. Plus you had Yokozuna, Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, all these guys. But it's just
the storytelling was terrible.
Oh, yeah. They have the roster here to do something. But again, they are lost behind the wheel in '94. They do not know where to go.
Jim Cornette helped book.
That wasn't until like 97, 96.
Don't try to bring your logic into this.
Because Cornette's still running a Smoky Mountain here.
All right.
They didn't shutter Smoky Mountain until '95.
Yeah,
but I
actually like Smoky Mountain, so I would watch Smoky Mountain from time to time. But it's just there was stuff there, but I don't know what Vince was thinking. I mean, he had Luger. Obviously, Luger was brought in to be the Hogan replacement, but without even really giving him a shot with the belt.
When was the steroid trial?
92.
No, the trial was in 94. Was that King of the Ring 94?
Was it?
Yeah, so that's why Vince wasn't there.
Yeah, so his mind was elsewhere. That could have been part of it.
So 94, that would have been probably Bruce and Pat running the ship for the most part.
Yeah, and they had Jerry Jarrett with them.
Well, Jim Cornette was at the Rumble '94.
Yeah,
he was with Yokozuna.
Cornette debuted in '93. He debuted when Bobby Heenan was still there.
Yeah,
actually, it was right towards the end of Bobby Heenan's run. I think he left like 4 months later.
I mean, it's all there. There's plenty of pieces in place to build a foundation that you could build upon. Because, like, you think about it, in '94, you go through '94. You've got Luger, who could have been a champion because he was a former world champion.
Right. You
got Bret Hart, Yokozuna, The Undertaker. There's 4. You've got Shawn, you've got Razor, you've got Diesel. So there's 7. You make a guy like Bam Bam Bigelow, there's 8. Owen Hart, there's 9. So you've got they built Backlund back up as a monster heel. But it's there because, like, that's why I go back to the Attitude Era. Like, you think about Austin beats Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. The only other person, because Bret's gone by then, the only other person on the roster that had ever won a world championship was The Undertaker.
That's crazy.
So they had to build Mankind. They had to build The Rock. They had to build Triple H. They had to build
first
Kane.
feud was Dude Love.
Right.
Which I think solidified Mick. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. I hadn't really thought about that. Austin, when he wins the title, there's not a lot of people around.
No. So
It's
I mean,
kinda
you could have had Gold Dust. You could have built up Ken Shamrock. So I mean, the pieces were there for it.
Yeah.
But up until, I mean, you had Kane won it for a day at King of the Ring. So Kane was brought in. Okay, you got a monster heel. So you got Kane, The Undertaker, and Austin.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's like they did Undertaker versus Austin at SummerSlam 98 because they literally had nobody else for Austin to feud with.
Highway to Hell.
Because he had already beaten Mankind.
And then luckily for them, some guy named Dwayne shot through the main event scene and
Right.
you get one
Who's
of the
that?
greatest feuds ever. Austin,
Who's that?
who's who?
He's an actor.
He is. That is true.
So up until, Big Show came in and all those things, that kind of gave you more bodies. But I never thought they booked the Big Show right.
No.
So, and Hogan told him to leave because Vince would know what to do with him. And I think Vince.
Well, again, he
No
debuts.
To be
Are you-
fair, who gives a shit? That man made like $100 million
I don't feel bad
over
for
the
him.
course of
Oh,
his
I
career.
mean, I don't feel bad for him. He's fine. He's doing fine financially.
But a year later, he's at WrestleMania in 2000. It's him, Mick, Triple H, and The Rock. And they're trying to build Big Show, but yet he's out in 5 minutes in that
Yeah.
fatal four-way. Like, I don't.
And I mean,
they just-
as champion, his one feud was Big Boss Man and being slung around on a casket at his dad's funeral.
underrated feud.
and then you had the
Love it.
the match with the dogs, right? Wasn't that him?
No, that was Al Snow.
That's Al Snow and Big Boss Man.
Oh,
Listening to Bruce just agonize retelling that story is from is like
And the
there's
dog
dogs-
shitting all
there's
over the.
pissing all over the mat. Vince is just backstage laughing, watching.
So it's there. I mean, the pieces are there. They could have had a much better 94.
yeah,
But-
but
Ooh. I mean, but dude, in 94, I loved this shit.
Oh, I was in. I was all the way in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I was out.
Again, I could sit there and I can watch. I mentioned this last night, so I watched up until WrestleMania 19, and then I was kind of done. I didn't come back till 08. But for some reason, I've never gone back and watched anything in between 03 and 08. But I'll go watch 1995, no problem. I don't understand why that is.
I'll watch from 88 to 2000. Dude, I'll watch all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I never stopped.
I'd rather watch anything from 80 to 91.
Dude, 88's solid. I don't think 88 gets its shake, man. 88's maybe one of the best years ever.
86 was solid.
86 was good, but 88 was, dude, Macho Man's at his peak. Hogan's at his peak. Tag teams in WWF are just through the roof.
But think about it. 86, you got Hogan, and he's going to feud with Kamala, Mr. Wonderful, Bundy.
Yeah. Hogan
And then,
Orndorff was
and
good.
then, by the way, you also have Randy Savage winning the Intercontinental title. You know, Tito Santana.
That
You
rebound.
got the Hart Foundation as tag champs.
It's a good year.
It's a really good year.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, all the years. And I mean, and that's what's great about wrestling is you can go back to any year and rebook it and to see how it would have been better. Or it's like, we rebooked it, but it just wouldn't work. But I mean, Dylan, there is no Hogan here. And by, after WrestleMania 94, it's apparent Hogan's going to WCW.
Yep.
But Hogan going to WCW didn't hurt the WWF in any way. It was when Diesel and Razor went to WCW and joined Hogan and Hogan turned heel. Then Vince was in trouble.
Well, WWF saving grace when Hogan left was that he already been gone for a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it. Hogan,
He left in
Wrestled-
June 93.
he wrestled
Appeared in
at,
WCW.
well, he
August
wrestled at,
Bash of the Beach 94 was his
well, I mean,
debut.
but so Hogan wrestled at Royal Rumble 92.
Mhm.
He wrestled at a Saturday Night's Main Event after that, where Sid
Mhm.
officially turned. And then he wrestled at WrestleMania. Then he returned and wrestled at WrestleMania 9.
for
Did
Beefcake.
the European tour, which nobody saw. and then wrestled at King of the Ring. So you're talking about he had 5 televised matches over the course of
2 years.
from
Well, a year
the
and a half.
time he
6. 'cause
lost
he
the
beat
belt.
Yokozuna. He had 2
Okay,
at
6.
WrestleMania.
Okay. So
Sure.
6 matches. 6 matches over the course of, I mean, you're talking until he wrestled at Bassett Beach, 2.5 years, 6 matches. So they weren't missing anything there. But it's just, man, there was so much more that they could have done. I mean, obviously they had to strap it. They had to go with Brett because what was the other option was Tito Santana.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have went with Tito.
I heard Scott Steiner as a shock was talked about, and they also talked about bringing in Dustin Rose as a heel to feud with, or to come in as a champion.
Why did they not make a stronger push to get Sting?
I don't know if it was that as much Sting just didn't want to leave. Bruce did say 92. They were after Sting.
You would think 92, 93 time frame, they'd have been all over trying to get Sting because
Well, Bruce said they
was the shits.
Bruce said they were. They were 92. They were after Sting.
Obviously, something was missing there. They weren't offering him enough because he didn't go.
So this is an interesting question, and the man's certainly here in 94. Could Cornette fit somewhere in a current promotion? Have bridges not been burning him? So in what capacity? Cornette could book anywhere tomorrow if he wanted to. Anywhere he's been, they've been successful while he was there. He
could, as long as he's not head booker and he's part of the writing team.
Sure. I mean,
but he doesn't work well with anyone. All he does is bitch.
Yeah.
He's the Bret Hart of professional wrestling.
If you go back and look at when Cornette booked at different places, the WWF's the one time you've heard Cornette have a problem with other bookers, and that was Russo. And we all know why that is. Anytime after that, you don't get complaints about Cornette being on the creative team.
Pretty sure you got it in TNA.
No, that was, well, I mean, yes, but that was Nash and Dixie. And Russo
I'd like to see, I mean, I wouldn't mind Cornette going to AEW.
Never
and maybe reeling that shit in.
Never. Not once with that. Please.
I
hate them.
4 years ago, him managing FTR would have burned the wrestling world down. And I really think all parties involved missed a big check doing that, not doing that.
Yeah.
But again, when Cornette was in Ring of Honor, you don't hear anything bad. I mean, that's when Ring of Honor kind of gained its notoriety. He started in like 07. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not sitting here saying a 64-year-old Jim Cornette should be the head booker. I'm not saying that. But being an agent and being one of the guys, absolutely he could.
But that bridge is burned.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
He's done.
Yeah.
He's not going to be like Vince Russo and shut up on Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
That would be hilarious.
Dumbest shit ever. So stupid.
And Efren watches that crap.
I don't get it. He's like, you guys watching this? Of course not. I have shit to do.
Yes, TJ has to work 27 hours a day.
So
I missed Raw and SmackDown, but I saw Juggalo.
Yeah. So I think we beat 94 to death. Where are we going to go from here? What's next on the docket?
88.
88. We're going to start at
we're going to start at the main event
in January.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're going to book it through WrestleMania.
Ooh.
Can we find those on TV anywhere?
I'll see what I can find.
I think they're on Netflix.
The main event will be on Peacock.
See, I looked up.
I didn't see anything on Peacock.
Yeah,
Peacock still has all the Saturday Night's main events.
Oh, they do because they technically own the rights to it right now.
Yeah.
But I went back and looked. They don't have none. That's the only thing that's up there. WCW is nowhere right now.
Well, we're not doing that.
I'm moving to Europe so I can get the WWE network.
Well, we're not doing it for right now. I mean, eventually.
Yeah, there is ways to watch WCW. I'll text you guys.
Because I have to look up if there's a database for 88. I mean, we got something here. Prove how good we are.
So you can play this game and read book
Yeah. So right now I have 3 databases up here. I've got 93, 97, and 01. But 97, I'm sorry, 01 is May. It's the beginning of the invasion angle.
So do you make it so like you're like, okay, I'm gonna have Lex Luger beat Yokozuna at SummerSlam?
So what they'll do, like say 93, right? Because that starts like January 1st, 93. So you're essentially, if you want, you can be anyone for any company, and we'll get into that if we actually start doing this. I'll explain all that. But say I want to be Vince in WWF in 93. So you would be responsible now. Well, at least you can do it however you want. But if you wanted to redo Yoko, you have to build Yoko through the Rumble, have him book whoever you want to beat, and then you got to book WrestleMania 9. Yeah, if we actually do this, I will explain all of that.
Well, that's a good idea to do this show. How we talk about how we do it, and then go to that and do it and see what happens.
I like it.
You guys have fun with that.
Tim will just talk with us on this show.
Yeah, I'll just be here making fun of TJ's mustache.
Yeah, that's stupid.
You're just jealous.
I hate it so much.
I hate it so much.
All right, wrap us up, Dave.
All right, so there you have it. That's how we would have done late 93 into 94 up to WrestleMania 10.
Now I gotta go watch this flaming pile of shit.
It's on Netflix. Go to the Royal Rumble, go to episodes, and they're all there. Thanks for joining us, guys. We will see you next time. Tim, you can hit the outro.
Thanks for watching. See you next time right here on Markout Moments.